So like one of the most important things when it comes to our body is circadian rhythm. I don't know if a lot of guys follow like an Andrew Huberman, but he talks a lot about this, just about kind of light early in the day, kind of getting the body up and moving, kind of setting the clock in the brain. But I read an interesting article here, basically in the New York Times. It talks literally about like 50% of all of our hormones have these internal clocks. And especially when we're younger, high school, in our 20s, I think one of the biggest issues is, we've got our normal school schedule, or we work from 9 to 5 every single day, and then the weekend hits. And, the term social jet lag I really like, because it's like to the break of dawn. The minute the weekend hits, I'm going to caffeine up, I'm going out drinking, my sleep is off because I'm going to bed at 2 a.m. I wake up hungover the next day, I'm taking a nap, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like Monday hits, and it's like we got to get everything back on track. And I think as we start to age, it gets harder and harder to do so, and then people either continue to kind of bang their head against the wall, and this is where they have issues starting to happen with their health, or people start to make some changes in regard to their health, and I think that's really important. So here we go, Dr. Huberman. He's got basically a neuro lab out of Stanford. Love his work, just really good insight on a lot of things. And, one of the most important things he talks about is, from the sleep perspective, is, especially in the first 3 hours of the day, starting to basically get some natural light exposure. It's one of the best things to kind of set that internal clock in our brain and ensure that, that clock is optimally running from a health perspective. Another thing he talks about is, limiting the bright artificial light late at night to ensure that we basically aren't hijacking melatonin or different stuff when it comes to our sleep. In that last article I was talking about in New York Times, it was really interesting. They talked about just how sensitive like the sensors in our eyelids are, as far as just like even looking at cancer patients in a hospital, and how they did some different studies about literally putting like black tape over all the lights and the noises. And it was crazy to see how much better people slept. So I think, the one thing I think outside of getting light early in the day to ensure we set the circadian rhythm is, as much as I've read about, sleeping with some type of blackout shades or mask when we sleep is huge. Especially if you've got a room where it's like sun's up at 5, it's coming through your curtains and you're not up till 7. It's like stuff like that can have a detrimental effect on just kind of waking the body, not fully, but kicking you into a lower level of sleep, and then kind of robbing you your last few hours, or just having like blinking lights or falling asleep with the TV on. Like all those things matter. You look at all the studies and the data, and it's crazy how just that one thing could be so critical as far as helping people sleep